This is just Bob Bowman, and I'm coming at you with another video. And I want to give a shout out to DS1 Ross, Sheep Stay Sleep TV. He inspired me to do this video. Actually, I had this video planned for a later date, but since he talked about this topic, I was like, I'm going to go ahead and give my take on what it is, how I think, and how I feel. And this is based off of my experiences and my conversations with other people and the conclusion that I drew from what this topic is about. And the topic is the dating market is almost strictly transactional. Now, before I get started with the topic, I want to say that I understand that not all relationships are transactional. I do. In my lifetime, I actually saw two relationships, total two, that were based off of genuine. Actually, I'll take that back. Three relationships that I saw that was based on mutual love, respect, and then like whatever needs that needed to be met that came on later. That you can see the chemistry between the two people, and you can see that they loved and cared about each other. And I will say this, that it is possible to have that relationship, that type of relationship. However, it is very extremely rare. And I'm getting older. I'm in my 40s, even though I probably don't look like it to a lot of people, but I'm in my 40s. And after having a lot of bad experiences and after speaking to people face to face and online and seeing that there are a majority of people that's going through the same issues and same circumstances or similar to what I've been through, that I came up with this conclusion that almost all relationships are transactional. Even marriages out here are based off of transactions. And we know this to be true. We see how these celebrities are getting married and then eventually they get divorced and then they have a big beef and a big issue when it comes to splitting up the money and the properties and the assets. We see this going on. We see it when we see that man or that woman who is very needy and they get into a relationship with somebody that just takes advantage of them and then sucks them dry and leave them out to hang. And that's in the inner city, in the community. We see it when a man or a woman that's desperate to be in a relationship, they know that they don't like the type of people that are available to them, but they go ahead and settle for those type of people because they're like, hey, I need bills paid. I need help with my children. I need this. I need that. I need a car. We've seen that. And yes, it's based off of convenience. Some people like, man, I just want somebody laying next to me. It don't matter who it is, no matter what size they are, no matter what height they are, no matter what skin tone they are, no matter it doesn't even matter if I don't like them and I don't like the way that they talk to me. As long as I have somebody that's next to me. And that's a transactional relationship too, because you really don't want to be with that person. And to be honest with you, and I want to be frank with you, that yes, I would love to be in a relationship. Like I want to be in a relationship. However, I'm building up myself to the point to where I know that if I wasn't in a relationship, I would be okay. That I don't really need a relationship. The main things that I need in this life first is air, then water, food, clothing, shelter. Those are the main five things that I need. And I have a job so I can get most of those things, except for air. Air is free for now, but you know what I'm saying. That's what I need in my life. As far as feeling connected with people, I have certain family members and I have a handful of friends that I can have that connection with, even if it's not an intimate or a sexual connection. I have that with them. And if I really want to have a sexual connection with somebody, sometimes I just have to do what I have to do. And I'm not going to be graphic on here and talk about what it is that I have to do. But you understand what a man has when a man has his needs and he needs to get his needs met, he needs to just do what he has to do if it's not available. And there's many ways that men do that. And I'm not going to go into all those ways because that's not the main topic of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how most relationships are transactional. You have women out here that saying if a man doesn't make this, this, or this, or if he ain't 6 feet tall, then I don't want to deal with him. On the other hand, you have men that saying, hey, I will mess with that woman that I'm not attracted to, but she's gonna have to buy me a lot of stuff in order for me to be able to tolerate being around her because I know that I'm not really attracted to her like that. And we see people and we know people that do that to other people. Is it right? No. Does it happen? Yes, it happens all the time. And a person like me that say, oh no, I'm not going to do that to a person where I be with somebody that I really don't like and take advantage of them, or that person to try to manipulate me because they know I don't like them and try to take advantage of me and use me for my resources, which also happens. I'm the bad guy because I see what's going on. And because I take my resources and I get a passport and I go overseas and I use those resources to meet up with and hang out with the type of women that I desire, I'm seen as being in the wrong. When you have a lot of women here that have inflated the prices, also tried to create scarcity amongst the men that they really talk about that they don't want because these men are so-called average men. And this is totally acceptable. You see, people don't want to be real and be honest about everything that's going on. They only want to see it from their point of view. You see, I had a conversation with somebody earlier tonight and they were like, well, I respect your preferences. I respect what it is that you want, what you don't want. But hell, if, okay, you're one person that probably respects it. But if you have a whole community that has rallied in secret and have put groups of people against you because of what it is that you want and what it is that you desire and try to make you out to be the bad guy publicly, how would you respond to that? You see, that's something that I had to deal with. I had to deal with it, and I'm still kind of dealing with the remnants of that situation where I have to battle myself and battle my thoughts and battle my disdain for the community because I'm not going to lie anymore. I do have some disdain for the community because of the way that I was treated. Knowing that I gave my all to the community just for it to be tossed in my face like it's nothing. You see, that's why I'm able to speak the way that I'm speaking, why I'm able to be honest the way that I'm being honest. And I'm going to be honest about one thing. The type of woman that I'm looking for is somebody that's slim, somebody that's going to treat me nice and with respect, and somebody that isn't going to be looking at me like I'm just a utility and they're going to go around and do whatever it is that they want to do or whomever it is that they want to do it with. And that's not something that's terrible. That's not something that's hard. But you had people try to shame me, try to gaslight me, try to say, oh, you acting like a woman because you're not taking this 350-pound woman that we're presenting to you. Even though that woman didn't want me and she knew I didn't want her, but she wanted to use me for an image booster. Yeah, let's talk about that. That's a transaction when people get in relationships just so they don't look like they alone and they desperate, that they can pull somebody. And they try to pull somebody that they know that really don't want them or don't really desire them, but they have that desire in their heart to prove everybody else wrong. And that happens. Yeah, let's go there. Let's talk about it. You see, I made up my mind not to play the game that's going on in this society. I made up my mind on which side I'm on. And I made up my mind that whatever consequences that I have to face, I am going to face them. Regardless of whether it is that I get hurt in the end or whether I come out on top on the end. It's a risk. Every position in life that we take, it comes with a risk. And I could have took the so-called safe risk. Dealt with the woman that I didn't want to be with the multiple children by different men, with the attitude problem, with the disrespect. And what would that leave me? That would lead me to possibly an early grave if I took that deal. And what I'm saying is, I would have been cool if I didn't have anybody and nobody would have bothered me and they would have just left me alone and let me be cool with everybody and be able to get along without them trying to force me to take a bad deal. But they got me to this point to where I have to express myself fully and honestly online, where I don't cut any corners, I don't fabricate anything. I keep it real 100%, regardless of whether anybody likes what I got to say or not. You see, this is the position that I took. And I know that people will say, oh, well, you going to be old and alone and all this and all that. Well, so be it. So be it. Or they say, oh, if you don't have anybody around and you have a stroke or a heart attack, who going to take care of you? Well, I have to put that in God's hands. And I pray every day to the Most High that He forgive me for my sins and He keep me strong. So with that being said, the bad deals that you're trying to give me or try to force me to take, it's off the table at this point because I'm not doing it. And I've said that multiple times. You go back in my videos and say I'm not taking a bad deal. And if a woman think that I'm a bad deal, then she shouldn't have to take me either. If the community doesn't like who I am as a person, they don't need me around. I will stay away from them. I will try to look for my permanent place of residence when I get a chance and an opportunity to get to that point. And I have to rely on the Most High to get me to that point to where I can be where it is, where I will be cherished and respected, and people will give me the type of validation that men should have just for being themselves and not being in a place where I'm barely tolerated. Now, I've had to separate myself from groups, from organizations, from so-called friends, just so I can make my point. And I'm going to stick to the point that I'm making, regardless of how anybody feels. And if I come off like I'm angry or I'm passionate, I don't care because this is really how I feel 100%. You see, you have a lot of people out here that's saying, oh, you can't say how it is out here. It's because, that's your reality. Who's to say that your reality is real? Well, my experience say my reality is real. I've had conversations with other individuals, not only within the community, but even outside while I was on vacation outside the country, that show me that this type of reality is real, not only for myself, but there's other people out there that's similar to what I'm going through. And I'm giving them jewels from myself, from what I've learned to help them improve themselves, to get over all the bad experiences that they had so they can live a better life. That's what this is all about. It's all about trying to create a better life for yourself while understanding the situation that you live in. Because there's certain things that I can't change. And I understand that. And since I can't change those things, I need to adapt to what the reality is that I'm living in so I can be okay. You see, they want people out here to be frustrated and angry. That's why they want to keep men from getting their passports and going overseas and exploring their options. They want people to have a scarcity mindset to where they'll take the bad deal. They want men to be bullied and gaslit and treated like a punching bag to the point to where they snap off and do some things that they shouldn't do. And my emotions had got there almost 2 years, actually over 2 years ago. My emotions almost got me to that point, you know. And I'll be honest with you, like I've dealt with women, and it was one woman that I really did like, a little bit over 2 years ago that I really was considering being with. However, she wanted to get married like that, like really soon. And I wasn't trying to rush in anything. I was trying to get to know her better because I actually liked her and I didn't want to put myself in a situation where it come off like I'm using her. And she left me alone because it took me too long for her. So don't give me this, oh, you can't tell people how things are. The only thing that you have and I have is experience. And I understand that your experience is different from mine. And it is great that your experience is like that, where you have a wife and you have children and yada, yada, yada. But the only thing that I can do is tell things from my side of it. You see, because I gave up on all that hope BS. As a matter of fact, brother Dick Gregory, before he passed away, he talked about hope and how it was stupid. So no, I don't have hope. You know what I have? I have faith, which is a little bit different. And the type of faith that I have is looking at things realistically the way that they are, making adjustments to my life to improve my life for the better, and then having faith that the best possible outcome is going to happen. I'm not going to hope that things change when I see that it's not going to change. I'm going to adjust my mindset so I can deal with the reality and then have faith that changing my mindset is going to get me to the point to where I need to be, whether I'm in a family or I'm not. You see, I'm not going to continue to allow myself to be in this hopium and using this hopium that everybody is talking about. Like I grew up with hope, where people are saying all you need to do is just get a good job and do everything that you're supposed to do and help out people and this will happen for you. And life doesn't work like that. You know that, and I know that. And even in those relationships that are good, there's going to be some bad times in those relationships as well. And you have to be mentally and also spiritually equipped to deal with those bad situations. And then there are some people who are not meant to be married. I don't know if I'm one of those people or if I'm not, but if I'm one of those people, I have to learn how to live my life to the best of my ability, knowing that I possibly will never get married again and not feel bad and not allow other people to shame me because I am how I am. But to keep on living my life to the best of my ability and doing what I need to do in order to survive. Knowing that, yeah, the majority of the time that I interact with a woman, it might be purely transactional. And I'm not even talking about sexual. Just hanging around that person, they gonna want things. They gonna want a dinner. They're gonna want movies. They're gonna want cologne, perfumes or whatever, just to be around them. You have women now talking about you got to pay me just for a conversation. How stupid is that? You got to pay them just to talk to them. You get nothing out of the deal. I would rather just stick to myself and doing videos like this than to allow myself to be brought so low to where I'm paying just for some stranger online to talk to me. It is stupid, it's asinine, and the way that society is going, and partially because of social media, the way society is going, it's like, dude, why am I participating in this mess? Why am I allowing myself to be influenced by this mess? I am going to influence change. That's what I represent. That's my message. And I'm saying that change starts within yourself. I'm not going to sacrifice myself for a community that don't care about me, because I understand that community starts at the home, and home is in us, because we are temples, and we got to take care of our home first before we think about anybody else. So yes, almost all relationships nowadays are transactional, and it's time for men to wake up, see what's going on, and act accordingly, and do the best that they can in the position that they were born in. And this isn't me trying to disrespect or disprove anybody's point of view. This is just the reality of life, of how I've experienced and how many other men have experienced it. Because it wouldn't be a community like this if it was just some random incident. It wouldn't be. So I'm saying that don't disregard how what it is we went through. Don't disregard our experiences. You know, because once you do that, you really gonna shut us out, and we really ain't gonna try to listen to what it is that you got to say. And like I said, I'm not taking the bad deal. I don't care. It's not happening. Let me get sick where I can't do anything. It still ain't happening. If it was supposed to happen, God would have let it happen 2 years ago when I had that health scare. But it didn't. So what does that mean to me? That means it's not supposed to happen. Because the only way it'll happen is the Most High, and He said no. And since He said no, I'm saying no. Other than that, you either let us talk our talk, let us do us, because we're not bothering anybody outside of our realm of existence. Let us live our life in peace. Other than that, it's always going to be some conflict. You know, and I'm not going to change who it is that I am as a person just to fit into your box that you have for me. It's not happening. I don't care. I don't care what threats you have. I don't care what attitudes you have. I don't care if you want to totally isolate me, but I'm standing my ground as a man. Because at this point, I'm like, what are you going to do about it? Other than that, I am done with the conversation. If you like what I had to say, please like, share, and subscribe. Otherwise, this is just Bob Bowman, and I'm out.